you to consider yourself to be a visitor, but you are a guest in our home. And we hope that something is said, prayed, or preached that will encourage you to draw closer to our Savior, because He truly does love you. He loves you with an everlasting love. I'm excited about this series that we've started several weeks ago entitled Hardwired. And, it's always good when you have really good friends that you can call on to help you out. When you get yourself in trouble, it's always good to have somebody that's solid, that has your back, right? We all need to have people that have our backs. And I told you guys when I started on this that I was jumping off into deep waters. I told you guys I'm no expert when it comes to areas of mental illness and mental health. But we do have a Bible that's full of information about mental health and how to deal with mental health. And God has blessed us with very gifted people in the body of Christ who knows how to use the Word of God in such a way that helps us to deal with our mental issues and our emotional issues. The gentleman that's going to come up and speak today's talk, he's a really, really good friend of mine. We've been knowing each other for years now, and he's someone that I hold myself accountable to on various levels. One in the area of my marriage, because he's always checking me in the area of my marriage and making sure that everything is okay with me and with Lori. And he says, if you're not taking care of things at home, you're not qualified to lead the church. And so I appreciate people that are bold enough to speak the truth to you in love, right? I know it's coming from a good place. Amen. A lot of people, they want to criticize you and you don't receive it because you know it's not coming from a good place. But there are people who will speak the truth to you in love, and he's one that does. And we regularly stay in contact with each other. He's just a beautiful soul. He's someone that loves God. He loves God's people. He loves sharing God's word. He's very gifted. You guys will see that when he comes forth. And so this is my brother. We are also co-laborers in the gospel, but he's my brother and my friend. And so I want you guys to receive him with a warm round of applause. Dr. Matthew Smith.
Appreciate Pastor so much. We are brothers from other mothers. He's a little crazy, and that's why he likes me. I'm here to tell you that if you don't help me preach, we'll be here till 3. So y'all gonna help me. Now don't look at the rapper. Okay? Don't look at the rapper. Somehow I lost some melanin along the way. Just saying. I want to give you a little clue right at the beginning for those of you on Facebook. I just want to encourage you, if you're on Facebook, go ahead and like me now. You'll thank me later, and I'll tell you why along the way. So if you're on Facebook, just do that. And while I'm preaching, would you do me a favor? Just hashtag something, throw it out there. That's called free advertising for the church, okay? Free advertising, just hashtag it. So some of you are going, oh, what was that name? There's the name. You already know the hashtag, so I'm just going to back up. And I want to start off by just saying, your pastor is the master of disaster to the kingdom of the devil. He's one of my heroes. I can't thank God enough for him. If you're not close enough to this brother, you need to get a little closer. His wife, he way outpunted his coverage. Amen? I want to bring greetings from my pastor, Pastor Brian Cyril. He's been in our church for 20 years, 13 as a senior pastor, and he is my pastor. He's 20 years younger than I am, and I found someone I can give my sword and my shield to for the rest of my days, somebody who is worthy of God's praise, and I'm thrilled to be here. We're up at Congregational Christian Church, corner of Temple and Alvarado, and we're in historic Filipino town and having a great time up there. God's doing some amazing things, getting ready to plant some more churches. Very exciting. I want to talk to you today on the subject of the power of focus. Now, if you don't have a pen or you don't have your phone out with your notepad open your notepad or pull out your pen and start writing, because there's some things you need to hear today, and there's some things that the devil wants you to forget. And so I'm going to encourage you to write some things down. If you're like me, you go, what was that? And that was about 5 minutes ago, so 10 minutes ago, forget it, I'm gone. And I'm gone. So, I want you to fill in the blanks. If you got notes with you, I want you to fill in the blanks, and I want you to have some fun with me here. But the thing that I want you to catch here is that the remote's not working. I want you to catch that right off the top. Here we go. No. Hello. Remote. Which one? Your remote. There we go. Where we look is where we go. Where we look is where we go. I love to be down Fast Track. How many are Fast Track users? Raise your hand. Fast Track users, yes. I got to go from here down to the South Bay. Forget it. Fast Track. I'm going to go. Sometimes I even get there. How many of you ridden Fast Track when you're wondering what am I paying for? I mean, I'm going down Fast Track. But you know, when you're running down Fast Track, you're right up against the K-rail. And I'm tearing down there at 55, 60, 65 miles an hour right down. And I look at the K-rail. Anybody else get a little distracted when they drive? And I'm looking at the K-rail. And the more I'm driving, the more I'm looking at the K-rail instead of the lane. And guess where I'm creeping over to? Wow. I'm getting closer and closer to seeing if my paint will remain permanent on the K-rail. And all of a sudden I wake up and say, I need to stop looking over there, because that's where I'm drifting to. Turn to your neighbor and say, are you drifting? You see, where we look is where we go. We're talking about mental health. Turn to your neighbor and say, I am the way I am. Because I am the way I am. This is why Pastor loves me. It's because I'm so deep and profound. I am the way I am. Because I am the way I am. Sermon's over. Mental health. You want a better brain? Change who you are. What we sow, we reap. This is kind of elementary, and I want to catch it from the book of Colossians. So as you're kind of working on it there, I want you to move into Colossians chapter 3. We're going to get there. But I want you to notice in the scriptures that we often begin to disintegrate when life falls apart. We begin to disintegrate when life begins to fall apart. And when we go through hard times, now I want to raise the hands in a moment as a testimony. When we go through hard times, it is our tendency to camp in the midst of our pain. Now, most of you don't even like camping, but you love camping in your pain. Who's going through hard times? Let me tell you a nice story. February 2017. Turn to your neighbor and say, 2017. In February 2017, the church that I've been at for 1 year finally said, oh, sorry, Pastor, we can't pay you anymore. In March 2017, my wife was diagnosed with a return of her endometrial cancer. In May of 2017, we sold our house because I didn't have a job anymore. In June of 2017, she was diagnosed with severe osteoporosis, fracture in her back. By July, she had 3 crushed vertebrae, 4 other fractures in her back, and 2 back surgeries by the middle of July. But in July 2017, we were homeless because I didn't have a job. We'd sold our house. My pastor and his wife, now my pastor and his wife, said, come, live with us. Gave us their spare room. In October of 2017, when we thought she was all getting well, her cancer broke out and just took off like a monster that cancer is. And we were told by the doctor in the early part of November, I'm sorry, Melody, but my bag of tricks is empty. How long does she have? 2 to 4 weeks. was actually about 7 or 8 days. We brought her home and she passed in our room. I called that pastor, my pastor now. I called that pastor and said, Melody, I'd like to come home to die. Is it okay? Yes, come. 11 hours later, she was standing in the presence of Jesus. Where we look is where we go. Where we look is where we go. Life is hard. Anybody who teaches you anything else is a blasphemous liar. Life is hard. And if you happen to pick up the sword and the shield for Jesus Christ, it's worse. Because now you have a supernatural enemy and a host of minions who are after you all day and night, even when you're asleep. And then God says, my son, I've decided to take your wife home. I remembered a long time ago the line in Jeremiah that I've decided to take your wife. I got down on my knees that night when the doctor gave that diagnosis of I can't help. And I said, Lord, this plan still sucks. But I'm still surrendered. You can have my wife. You see, you have a choice. Every minute of every day you have a choice. And where you look is where you go. I had a choice. I could have focused on what I lost. Now you need to know, and Pastor and Roy will tell you, that Melody and I had this most amazing marriage. Nobody's had a better one. And you just can't have a better one. We were a symbiosis. I would start something, she would finish it. Sometimes we'd just be sitting there not having said anything for a long time, and we would start, one of us would start laughing, and the other would say, are you thinking about this? And it was always that.
All right.
And I can focus on what I've lost. 38 years, 5 months, 2 days together. I can focus on that, or I can choose to focus on what's next. On my knees the night that God took her home. And that's a whole story I don't have time to tell. I said, Lord, this plan still sucks. And I'm still surrendered. Now make the rest of my life the best of my life. You ought to write that down. Lord, make the rest of my life the best of my life. We're talking about mental health. It comes from the mind. Some of you are still waiting for God to do a zap. And as I said the last time I was at Peace Chapel, there is no zap. You are indwelt with the Spirit of God, and if you walk with the Spirit of God, and you in the Word of God, the God of the Word and the God of the Spirit will carry you, guide you, direct you, but there is no zap. Now what all my intimate friends know is that I am Captain America. Long before it was popular, I was Captain America. My children grew up knowing I was Captain America. If you follow me on that Facebook page, you're going to see Cap on my page. Because I am he. And I'm here to tell you that there is a supernatural power, there is a special serum, if you will, that can help you rise above and beat through all the obstacles. But if you did happen to watch The Invasion of Manhattan in that movie, you can remember that there are times when even Cap's gotten beaten pretty hard, and Thor turns to him and said, "You okay?" And he said, "I can do this all day long, I'm fine." By the power that dwells within us. That don't mean we don't bleed. That don't mean we don't cry. That don't mean we don't hurt. Everything else is a lie. Christians are still human. But where you choose to look is where you go. So, in your notes I put what we fix our minds on is the seed that we plant into the soil of our souls. Eventually, those thoughts will grow into a crop, whether good or bad. And we have only one person to thank or blame for that. It's not your mama, not your papa, not your aunt, not your uncle. It's you. What you choose to feed on becomes what you become. Pastor's been eating healthier. It's a struggle. Can we all say it's a struggle? Some cultures are dedicated to killing us. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Deep fried. Got to be all embroiled and embedded in. And flour is not our friend. From the lips to the hips. Ladies, you love to eat muffins, but you know what you get, right? Muffin top. Food Scott, absolutely perfect labeling. We love pork, but really it just comes from a pig. There we are. The more we eat, the bigger we become. And what we feed our minds, is what we become. Where we look is where we go. And so mental health is about focus. I'm here today to tell you, without my wife, whom I truly miss every day, I'm here to tell you that life in this world is better if it is lived by a power beyond this world. The power of the resurrected, ascended, glorified Christ. It is better. And so I want the rest of my life to be the best of my life. So my question is, where are you focused at right now?
Okay.
Some of you are focused on your pain. The pain drains our vitality. Some of you are focused on your problems, but that drains our hope. Some of you are focused on your people, kids, spouse, and that increases our frustration. Do you ever notice you can't change your kids? But before you get all too excited about that, remember, you ain't changed yet yourself. Just saying. I'm an equal opportunity reality speaker. Some of you focused on your pleasures. Pastor Joe was talking about he didn't go off to Las Vegas. You know what happens when you focus on your pleasures? It dulls your compassion. Some of you focused on your plans, but that diverts us from God's purpose. Some of you focused on your pocketbook, but the Bible says that the love of money is the root of all, so that increases our evil. Some of you focused on your possessions, but I discovered that enslaves our heart. You do know why they're called possessions, right? They possess you. You do not possess them. Don't believe me? Let me come over to your house and ask you to get rid of a couple things this afternoon and watch you squeal like that stuck thing we were talking about a minute ago. You see, the reality is that when we plant a thought, it becomes an attitude.
Yes. Yep.
Some of you got an attitude. It's time to change your thoughts. When we plant an attitude, it becomes an action.
Amen.
You guys don't have any idea what I'm talking about right now, do you? Get new thoughts, gentlemen. Get new thoughts. But when we plant look at this. When we plant an action, we get a character. And when we plant a character, we get a destiny. Who are we blaming for all of our problems? Oh, it's part of them, or it's part of that, or it's part of the government, it's part of that political party, or it's part of my parents, or it's part of the people in my neighborhood. No! It's you! We don't sing that song, we won't sing that song, remember the song. It's me, oh Lord, what?
Stand in need of prayer.
But why, if we're blaming everybody, we don't say it's the president standing in need my mama, it's my, I mean, come on, it's us. It's right here in the smallest cubicle on earth, holding the most problems in life, is I think wrong thoughts, and I wind up with wrong attitudes, which create wrong actions, which give me a wrong what? Character, which leads to where I am today. I'm in this mess because I put myself here. Now that was all intro, Colossians chapter 3. I usually don't do long intros, but that was a good one. Turn to your neighbor and say, that was a good one. I'm humble too. Here we go, Colossians chapter 3. I just want to read the first word. I bold-faced it and underlined. We're just going to read one word. The first word is if. Turn to your neighbor and say, this might or might not apply to you. This whole message might or might not apply to you. And it all depends on an if, read with me the rest of the sentence. If, then you have been raised with Christ. There it is. Have you? Now don't go and tell me yes. Because I'm going to be saying, oh, really? Let's check it out. You see, if you have been raised with Christ, what are you supposed to do? Seek the things that are above, where seated at the right hand of God. So why do you spend so much time on Facebook? You got 432 reasons why this week you couldn't read your Bible, but you got 19 hours on Facebook. Don't you think the Almighty is keeping track? What part of I see everything and I know every intention of your thought don't you get?
All right.
I see in the darkness when you're playing on your phone at 2:30 in the morning, but you can't get up 15 minutes early to read a book because you stayed up all night finding out who and who was doing what and what. You see, a healthy mind starts with what we're searching for every day. Again, back to the profound. I am the way I am, say it with me, because I am the way I am. You want a new mind, you're going to have to get a new mind. You're going to have to change. I'm going to have to change. Now the simple thing that I can get you to do is this. Turn to your neighbor and say, if you're not too smart, he's going to lose you. I want you to start reading the Bible every day. One chapter. Turn to your neighbor and say, one chapter. And here's the complicated part. Proverbs. Just one book. Over and over and over and over. Over and over and over and over. Every day. But you're just going to read one chapter, and you're going to read the chapter of the date on your phone. So today's the 28th. So today you'd read chapter. I didn't lose too many people. Now that wasn't the smart test. The smart test is on Tuesday to see if you did it or not. Fools, getting ready to write a book next year on the 5 different kinds of fools in Proverbs. Fools don't do what they hear. Been there, done that, got the fact to prove it. You with me? So, reading the Bible is simple. It's one chapter a day from the book of, and it's from the date on your, that's pretty simple, okay? So that's it. A healthy mind starts with what we're searching for. By the way, if you're not opening the Word of God regularly, don't be trying to tell me you're a Christian. Because y'all like chicken and waffles, but you go there, but you don't go there in the Word. Don't be telling me you can feed yourself, but you can't be feeding yourself.
Amen.
It's not true. See, we have to put this in the mind, and this don't work at night, just laying it as a pillow. No osmosis. It doesn't work. You have to read it. Now, verse 2. Verse 2, read it with me. Set your mind on things that are above. Ooh, from your lips to God's ears. Oh, you're more interested in what's going on in that novella or in that soap opera, and you can tell me every single person's entire life story, but you can't tell me who Zedekiah is. Don't you know there's a test when you get to heaven if you get there? Because remember, this is all about the if. Now, some of you are going, well, I am saved. I said, don't get confused with the rapture. Ladies, I'm single, by the way. I had to find this white woman in the world. Before she stepped into heaven, she gave me a whole bunch of instructions about all sorts of things for the rest of my life. And one of the last things she said was, this is what she said to you, she went, you will get married again. Wait 1 year. Now ladies, November 11th is 1 year. Now there's a man who understands. You on Facebook with me yet? I had to find this white woman, called her the Ivory Beauty. We were talking about this. I said, so who do I marry? She had this cancer 10 years before, and she told me who I should marry, and I was amenable to that. So was the lady, so I thought, okay, but so I asked her now, I said, so who should I marry? She said, I haven't got a plan. I said, well, that's okay. You know where I'm going. She said, yeah, I know where you're going. You're going after the Mahogany Beauty. Some of the ladies in the church went, right there, they just went, just like that, just like that. And you laughing at that, aren't you? So, I want you to see, you're going to have to set your minds where? On things above. You say, where did you come up with that idea that you ought to get married? Well, the same place I got the other 2 goals for this year. That's a different message you can check out on my Facebook feed. But God gave me 3 goals for this year. 1, write some books. I'm writing 9 right now. If you go to my feed and you follow me to my website, you can get the notifications and you can get all 5 books one day at a time. They come 1 page at a time every day. And that's 5 of them. There's 4 other ones. And then he said travel. I've been to the Philippines on mission. 9,806 miles around the United States. Driving tour this summer. I've been to Florida preaching. I'm going to Israel in 4 weeks. By the way, if you want to go to Israel with me in 2019, I'm going again. Just on Facebook, message me and say, I'd like to be your wife, and I'd like to go to Israel. I mean, I'd like to go to Israel. See, where you look is where you go. Some of you go, I'm starting to understand this principle. Okay? See, some of you are still stuck in the pain of your past. I do not look in the rearview mirror. It's too small. I look inside the windshield. It's bigger. By the way, they're both located in the same place in your car. Your choice. I'm choosing forward. Amen. So I'm traveling, and then I'm going. I've just been traveling. I was in Baltimore a few weeks ago. I was in North Carolina a few weeks ago. I'm going to be in Texas in a few weeks. I'm going to India next year. I'm going back to Israel next year. I'm going to the Philippines next year. I haven't even started booking next year, and that's what's already there. I'm telling you, you have a choice. Set your mind on things above. I said, God, what do you want me to do? He said, write. I want you to travel. I want you to get a wife. I said, those 3 sound like what Melody told me to do. He said, who do you think she got them from? Clock's ticking.
Praise him. Praise him.
Clock's ticking. What are you doing with your life? It's in your mind. Set your mind. Set your mind. Say it with me. Set your mind. Some of you walk around, I just couldn't stand being with you for more than 10 minutes. You whine, you snivel, you bellyache, you complain, like God died, his dog bit you, and you don't know what to do next. Whine. I thought God was alive. I thought he was powerful. I thought he loved me. I thought he had a plan for my life. I thought that's amazing. But some people who claim the name sure talk about him by rubbing his fame in the ground. It's all the mind. What you focus on is where you go. So, second point. Second point, simple. A healthy mind flourishes because what? Where we focus every day, every day, every day, every day, every day, every day, every day. What am I focused on? 3 goals. Writing, traveling, and who she is.
All right.
Verse 3. For you have died. Well, there's a big problem. And your life is hidden with Christ in God. Take your 2 fingers, put them on your carotid artery. Right here. Go ahead and do it. I'm going to wait. Lunch could take a long time for some of you. I see you in the back row not participating. Come on. You know, it doesn't matter where you sit. You don't participate, you don't go.
All right, all right.
Anybody feel pulse?
Yeah.
Yep, I got one too. But this passage says that I'm supposed to die. In fact, it says I already have. See, the difference between this and being in Christ is this, while it's pulsing in my body, is alive. I, in my attitude and in my will, have died.
That's right.
Not my will.
Thy will be done.
We spout it, but we don't live it.
That's right.
And I tell the Lord, this plan still sucks. And I'm still surrendered.
That's right.
That comes from the mind over the will. Sometimes my will wants the 3rd donut. My body says you ain't never seen a fight like this. And pretty soon I got a donut. You see, a healthy mind enjoys the abundance of God's love. I'm hidden in Christ. It's Christ's love. I'm writing a book on grief right now. And I'm amazed at the number of people who not only are camping in their pain, they've erected a house. They're living in their pain. And it's in their mind. And they turn it over and over and over and over. And they talk about what they've lost. And they hum and they ho. Listen, it's no fun losing your wife.
No, that's right.
And it hurts like hell. But I'm not choosing to live back there. She wouldn't have wanted that for me. You will get married again. It's not the words of a woman who says, oh, I want you to be fully devoted to me because I'm so stinking selfish that if I happen to die, I don't want you to ever have fun again. Really? What you think? You're going to be married to that person for all eternity? There is no marriage in heaven. Goodness. Besides, the Bible said, it is not good for a man. By the way, ladies, that does say man. It is not good for a man to be alone. And all God's people who are men said, amen. Amen. And amen. So you need to say all day long, I'm loved by God. I'm loved by God. He cares about me. What you feed the mind changes your health.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
It really does.
And here's the problem. Would you read with me, please, verse 4? When Christ, who is your life, appears.
You also will appear with him.
Do you see that section I highlighted?
Who is your life?
Is he?
Yes.
Don't be telling me he is when you don't give.
Say that.
By the way, just write Matthew 23:23. Jesus said tithing is something you're supposed to do. And it's a really small thing. And if you can't do a small thing, turn to Luke chapter 16, verses 10 through 12. And he's telling you if you can't do the little things with money, I'm surely not going to give you anything more
Come on,
important.
see?
Now, you see, I want the mahogany beauty, so I'm busy tithing, dude. What's in here comes out here, comes around here. Some of y'all can't figure out why life don't work. It don't work because you ain't working it. You ain't working it because you don't know it.
Come on, Steve. There you
And you don't know it because you won't pick it up because you're too busy on Facebook or watching those novellas, or you're busy with the soapy operas. You see, a healthy mind flows out of a personal relationship with Jesus every day. Now, ladies, I got an intelligence question. I've been asking this question all around the United States all year long. Here it is. Lori, I want you to participate in this. Here we go. Is it okay for the wife I marry? You think if you were the wife that I married, we're going to skip the fact whether you're married or not right now. I'm just going to ask you this as an intelligence question. Okay? If you were marrying me, would you accept the deal that I'll come home 4 nights a week to you and 3 nights a week to my mistress?
No.
I said, would you accept the deal? Some of you not participating, I can't even believe that. Would you accept the deal that I come home 4 nights a week to you and 3 nights a week to my mistress? Then why do you do it with Jesus?
Say that. See?
You're busy at the club, but you ain't got no time for the Christ. That's because we haven't surrendered to His will. That's because we haven't reordered our lives. We haven't embraced a consistent conversation with Him. And then we wonder why, for some reason, the heavens are silent. Try that with your wife, guys, and see what happens. See, now, frigid, you just a fake.
Wow.
Now, you want your life filled with peace like I do. You want your life filled with joy like I do. Then we need to step up. Step in. And we need to tell ourselves, I'm all in. I'm all in. And you tell the Lord that all day long, I'm all in. And then every once in a while, He's going to say, really? What about this? And then you're going to say, well, I'm all in. He goes, okay, get rid of that. Maybe it's time you pared down your Facebook time. Picked up some time listening to me. Now listen, in a minute I'm going to tell you, I want you to come forward and I want you to surrender to Jesus and I want you to reorder your life and I want you to embrace Jesus in a constant conversation. But I'm telling you right now, there's 2 daily actions for the mind to be healed, for the mind to flourish and thrive, and I want you to write them down and we're going to be done. The first one is you understand that our minds are like gardens. Our minds are like gardens. And if we work them and we till them and we plant them and we weed them and we cultivate them and we fertilize them, things thrive. And if you're like when we went on vacation for 4 weeks one year and we didn't do any of that, the weeds had taken over, we couldn't find anything. So I'm trying to tell you that healthy minds need constant weeding from whatever is temporary, that temporary way we used to live. You got to get rid of the stuff that you used to do. You got to get rid of the thoughts that you used to think. You've got to stop saying things that destroy.
Right.
Now let me just go into no land for a minute. Turn to your neighbor and say, this is going to get controversial. Y'all ready now? Don't confuse the rapping. I already told you what I'm marrying, okay? Do you think when God made you that He made an accident? No. Yes or no? No. Well, then the color of our skin, the economic status of our parents, and even the crazy political party we were born into, by the way, they're all crazy. Don't believe me? Watch how the presidents get all chummy after they're done with they're all done with their presidency. Michelle saying, you know, George, my best friend. I'm sitting there going, wait a minute, I heard you talking. I heard you talk a lot, and I heard you talking. And how Bill and George are real good friends. And Bill and George, number 1, are real good friends. I go, y'all, we need to stop believing what they be yakking about until they're done. Because they're just telling us what they want to tell us to get us to do what they want us to do. And we just born into this nonsense. Okay? Born into nonsense. What I'm telling you is, he didn't make a mistake when he made me white, even though the wrapper's the wrong color. He didn't make a mistake when he made you black, and there's no problem with the wrapper there. He didn't make you a mistake when he made you bald, and he made me balding. That's not a mistake. That's a plan. And I can't run around saying, I'm balding so I can't. Or I'm white so I can't. Marry a beautiful African queen. Some of you are in a prison, you got the key to, the door's not locked, you just won't push it open. It's right here. Put your mind on things above. Stop following the lies of this world. It's not by party, it's not by color, it's not by gender, it's not by baldness or hair. It's simply, am I Christ, and will I do what the text says? Will I?
Praise God.
Now, some of those things that turn to your neighbor and say, put on your asbestos suit. The Bible gets a little dangerous. I just wanted to put, I wanted to put a little sound in, but I didn't know if your sound system worked with the PowerPoint. I was going to go, Anybody get the Amber Alert yesterday? Yeah. Okay. I want to put a sound like that in, because here we go. What do you got to weed? You're going to have to pull out the sensual. The Bible gets a little. We all know about gangs. Those ugly thugs that come in like a plague, suck the life out of the vibrancy of our community. They take our children and turn them into memories. Those memories are on t-shirts and are on the back of car windows. Gangs. You see, there's a lifestyle that will tear apart our lives. And all we'll have is memories. Because there's a gang running around, sucking us into it, called the gang that pulls us into sensuality. The Bible's very clear. Look at verse 5. Read it with me. Put to death. Now, by the way, that's not just put them outside. You don't put them in a timeout. Put them to death. That's what you do. You pull the weed up, you burn it. Pull the weed up, you burn it. What do you burn? Here we go. Here it is. Sexual immorality.
That's right.
Impurity. Passion. Evil desire. Covetousness. By the way, gentlemen, that's porn. Which is idolatry. Hear me. No idol worshiper in heaven. No porn addicted person in heaven. Jesus said, when you lust after a woman, you've already committed adultery. Jesus came back around 22 of Revelation and said, all adulterers go to hell. There's a problem in the mind. That's why you got a pastor who cares and can show you how to get out of it. The first step is this.
Surrender.
Not my will. You got to tear up the sensual. In fact, look what it says. Just in case you missed it. Verse 6, read it with me. On account of these, what? The wrath of God is coming. This is what brings the end times. And what does he say about us? In these you too once walked. You see, the difference between a Christ follower and a not Christ follower is what you're walking in now. Some of you going, oh no, I prayed a prayer, I'm good. Listen to me. The ladies in the room already outvoted us. They said, I cannot marry a woman and be with her 4 nights a week and with my mistress 3. You once walked that way, but you don't do that no more. And that's the defining diagnostic between whether I'm in Christ and whether I'm not. And you got to pull up, I've got to pull up the emotional. Got to pull up the emotional. What emotions do we have to weed out? Here we go, read it with me, verse 8. Now, you must put them all away. What? Anger, wrath, malice, slander, and obscene talk from your mouth. Do you see how everything flows out of anger? You see how it all flows out of anger? Is it not a caricature for our young people today to be angry?
Amen.
Where did they learn that from?
All right.
Thank you. The Bible says that anger is learned.
All right.
With an angry man and a furious man, do not go, Solomon said, lest you learn his ways and become like him. We are supposed to be people who love one another. Anger is a state of mind. It's always there. It's like the pot on the back of the stove that you just keep on low and it simmers all day long. And when that's soup, it's good. But when it's anger, it's awful. And we think for some reason this anger feels like someone owes us something, an apology, respect. Something is owed to us. That's anger, and that's a blasphemous lie. The only thing owed to us is the gates of hell. While we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I was trying to get my hands around this, so I went through and dug out every single one of these words and I put it into my own translation. And this is how I translated it. But now you must put them all away. Covetous desire to have what belongs to somebody else. That's the anger word. You owe me something. If you've ever said, they owe me, that's anger. Ouch. Explosive fury. You know these people. You just barely touch them like a zit and they pop. Your evil habits of wickedness, verbal abuse. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you are in a relationship where somebody is verbally abusing you, the next step is physical. Walk away. Go to pastor and his wife and get the help you need. Christ can heal you. Christ can heal them.
Yes.
But a verbally abusive person is not Christian. They're just plain angry. And anger is in the mind, and anger is fed by selfishness. And selfishness says, you owe me. Now, ladies, I don't know why you keep marrying little boys in big bodies. I don't get that. But that's not the sermon for today. But if you are not married right now, if he's playing PlayStation all day long and you marry him, I do not feel sorry for you for marrying a little boy. When I was a child, I played like a child, but now I'm a man, I've given up childish things. Get a man. Get a man. You see, what I'm trying to tell you through this whole message is this one sentence. Here it is. Shredded lives. Read it with me out loud. Shredded lives are simply the evidence of a shredded mind. Lifestyles reveal mind styles. There it is.
I like that.
There it is.
I like that.
There it is. And don't lie to yourself. And don't lie to other people. Don't come in here pretending you love Jesus when all week long you love yourself. It's time this morning you finally put some action to those words. Because you can't fix this mind if you're going to keep being pretending on one side and playing on the other. And some of you big player. And you don't understand. He knows what you do. But he ain't impressed. And that's why you've got the mess you've got. Because we are the way we are. Because we are the way we are.
Okay.
But weeding isn't enough. If you go down to Home Depot and you got a little piece of grass in your property and it's yours, you know that you go down and you get weed and feed. You go down and get weed and feed. You got to weed and you got to feed. That's what you got to do with your kids. It's what you got to do with your mind. We've got to do this all day long everywhere. Healthy minds need constant feeding from whatever is external. Everything flows out of the heart. Out of the abundance of my heart, my mouth speaks. And so feeding our minds for health is the idea of watering and fertilizing our minds with the things that bring about health and growth. And that's why Paul says in verses 10 and 11, read with me, and have put on the new self, which is being created, renewed in knowledge after the image of its creator. In other words, what Paul's saying is you need to feed your new self. New self. We talked about it. by the way, there's a funny lie running around in the church. Can I just kill it here? I'm going to take a great big sword. I haven't been listening to pastor's messages, but I'm going to take a great big old sword. I'm going to just shove it right through the heart of this vampire and kill it. You know these people running around going, I am so blessed, I am not stressed. Damnable, blasphemous lie. You know you're lying through your teeth. You know it, you know it, you know it. Would you stop sharing the damnable, blasphemous lie? You are, every time you say it, you are spraying it, that you are in a process of being so stressed, you're trying to pretend. Paul said he was so stressed, he was ready to die. It's not the stress. It's the God inside of us during the stress. It's the indwelling Spirit of God. Never leaves me, never forsakes me.
Yes.
Ever. Sometimes I'm so stressed I don't even know how to spell blessed. For the folks here, I just want you to know I've been in Christ for over 4 decades. Pastored for 4 decades. Got 2 PhDs. Been in, this is my 40th read cover to cover. Don't be lying to me. Either you need medication, you are on medication, or you need some sort of incarceration. If you're running around going, I'm so blessed. My wife died. It hurts like hell right now. But I don't focus in the rearview mirror. I feed my mind. I read that pain. I feed my mind. I read that pain. Christ in me, the hope of glory. Christ is my life. My life was not my wife. Christ is my life. And then I can love my wife like Christ loved the church. Stop lying to yourself. Feed it the truth. I can stand. I can walk. I can shout. I can be joyful in the midst of pain. It's real. It hurts. But He's here. And He takes hold. And He loves. And He cares. And He knows. And He comforts all the time. And I am not a conqueror. I am more than a conqueror. If you're running around crying and whining, sniveling because of your situation, you are less than a conqueror. But I am more than a conqueror. Some of you ain't been listening to Jekyll and Carr. You got to listen to her. I'm more than a conqueror. I'm more than a conqueror. I'm more than a conqueror. I am not a conqueror. I am more than a conqueror. You see, we are not defined by our race, but by our grace.
That's right.
We are not defined by our position, but by our submission.
Come on.
We are family. We are one in Jesus. And that's why you need Peace Chapel. That's why you need your pastor. Because we are family. It was like 7 years ago I said to Pastor, you do know South Central's changing, right? It ain't going to be black much longer. And all them little oases of black churches are going to die. Because the Mexicans are on their way. This man, one of my heroes,
He said yes.
he said yes.
Praise the Lord.
He said
But then he's got a lunatic for a friend and the rapper's white. But a few moments ago you notice I moved out of the white. It's not about grace,
Tell the
it's
truth.
about grace.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
And you and I, we need to feed our chosen, our holy, our loved self. I am chosen. I am chosen. I am chosen.
I know.
You might have done it, but if you submitted and you repented, He forgave it. And He chose you. He chose you. Pastor, stop doing if you do this anymore. Sorry, just a little pastoral. Don't ever ask for volunteers ever again. I think I told you this already. Jesus chose people He wanted with Him.
Say that. Say that.
You know, you ask for volunteers, you get all sorts of stuff you don't want. I mean, you get the people who want to be bossy, people who want to run things, People who want to control things. They can't control themselves, so they couldn't come to the church and control everybody else. They can't control their husband, or they do control their husband, so they figure they can control the pastor. I mean, you don't want those people. You choose who you want. And here I come, turn to your neighbor and say, watch out, the back of your head's going to get hurt. Here it comes. Boomerang shot. You are chosen. You did not volunteer. You are chosen. Feed that to your mind. I am chosen. I am set apart. I am loved. Some people think I'm a little too much. I think they're a lot too little. Not too little. Let's get this up to speed. Come on.
Take your time.
There we go. Now, would you read with me, please?
Feed your children.
Feed your chosen, loved, whole self. Here's what it says, verse 12. Read it with me. As God's chosen ones, holy and beloved. There it is. Say it over and over and over. I am God's child. I am chosen by God. I am set apart by God. I am loved by God. Take your phone, take a picture, put it somewhere prominent. Write it out at home, put it on the mirror in the bathroom, put it on the refrigerator, say it over and over and over and over, and feed your mind what God says you are, not what they say you are, not what you say you are, not what your kids say you are, not what your spouse says you are, not what the government says you are. You say this, and your mind is feeling better in a moment. Such a mind, a healthy mind, flows with love. It's filled with patience. It slathers forgiveness on other offenders because we swim in a river of God's love. Forgiveness is what we do. Look at what it says. Read it with me, verse 12. We'll try. We'll try. Got me? Oh. There we go. Back up one. There we go. Put on then. Put on. Put on. Put on. Some of you got dressed this morning. We're all grateful. We don't want you coming in your jammies. That's what you do when you go to Walmart. Okay. Put on then what? Compassionate hearts. By the way, I've read some folks' Facebook pages claim to be Christians. Shame on you. I have a white friend who was one of my teachers in high school, and he started reaming me out because of President Trump and the Republicans and da-da-da-da-da. I said, what? Now, you need to know I'm not political. There is only one politician. His name is Jesus Christ. King of Kings, Lord of Lords, everybody else. And I said, why in the world do you think I'm a Republican? Well, you're white. Racist. Really? How about some compassion? He throws vindictive, acidic stuff all day long in his Facebook page. Where's the Christ? See, what we post is what we think. Out of the abundance of our heart, our Facebook feed. Compassionate hearts. Read it with me. Kindness, humility, meekness, and patience. Here comes the next one. Bearing with one another. Did you see that? That does not say be a bear with one another. Bearing with one another. And if one has a complaint, I'm talking to you. I don't know who you are, but you're always got something going on. You're always offended. Let me just say we're offended at you always being offended.
Yes, come on now.
We're sick and tired of you being sick and tired. You got a complaint, what are you supposed to do?
Forgive each other.
Forgive them! Stop acting like Lucifer and start acting like the Lord. Why?
As
Well, here's the problem. This is why they're always got a problem, why they're always offended, because the Lord hasn't forgiven them yet, because they haven't asked for it. See, a person who's complaining all the time is just advertising. I want to say. And then number 3, I need you to come up and embrace Jesus as a constant conversation.
Yes.
Listening to Him through His Word. Praying, not my will.
You see, because Christianity in a single sentence is this:
Amen.
not my will, but yours be done.
That's right. Thank you, Jesus.
You want a healthy mind? Want a healthy life? It's all about where you go. What you focus on. That's oh, you got me all straight. Good job. That don't happen very often. Where you look is where you go. Now listen, you and I are struggling with the people around us who can't see until maybe today that they've been going places because they've been looking places, and it's been destroying other people. My daughter posted early this week, she said, why is it that angry people never understand how much damage they do to the people around them?
Right.
So if that angry person's here and they don't respond to this altar call, do something godly and turn to them and say, would you come forward and repent of your anger?
Wow.
And if they get angry, we got men to take care of them. I'm dead serious right now.
Yes.
Anger is a monster like a hurricane, like a cancer. But anger is always the evidence of an unsurrendered life of selfishness.
Right.
So I'm asking you now, come. As you come, whatever it is, surrender to Jesus, reorder your life.